Hello, this is Ricky Klein, the Cassette Master, and you may have seen a video I did earlier where I constructed a telephone communication device using two telephone handsets, a 1.5 volt AA battery, and a switch. The device was simple, very simple. And you noticed that in the device I used 4-conductor cable, or simply said, the wires I used to connect the two telephone handsets used 4 wires. But I realized that that is actually not necessary. The device can be used using only 3-conductor cable as opposed to 4-conductor cable. So in this video I will use 3-conductor cable. I'm going to take the 4-conductor cable off, and I'm going to change it over to 3-conductor cable, and also give a view on actually screwing on the cables and whatnot, so someone who doesn't have much experience but who wants to build it can see what it looks like to do some of the basic hookups that are required. Now you may notice that the audio in this video sounds a little strange. Now, to tell you a fun bit of information. The audio in this video you are hearing is actually being used with an outdated and not too commonly used kind of microphone, a carbon microphone. This is a carbon microphone that goes in these kind of telephone handsets. Of course, the type where you unscrew the two parts, the one for the speaker and for the mic. This is where I took the microphone out. The carbon microphone simply varies resistance with the sound. It's a passive component. You have to have an external power supply in series with the carbon microphone in order for it to work. So, having this carbon microphone in series with the power supply, and then going with a simple resistive attenuator into the microphone input on my camera. And you can hear the audio quality is pretty interesting. So without further ado, let's get into actually changing this 4-conductor wire and replacing it with 3-conductor cable. Let's go ahead and disassemble the first telephone unit. We unscrew the carbon microphone. As you can see, there it is. And there's the carbon microphone socket holder. So we simply unscrew the wires. Take the speaker. And remove the wires. The wire itself, the wire can be removed from the telephone. You see the schematic from the last video. You see that where the negative of the battery connects, and each of these circled portions represent one of the handsets. So this is one handset, And of course, its microphone goes to that. This microphone over here goes to the speaker over here. The microphone here goes to the speaker over there. But you can see the microphone here as a common connection point with that speaker. So instead of bringing both conductors over there and connecting it there, and both connectors there and connecting it there, just bring one conductor which has these 2 points already hooked up, and the other 2 conductors will have one going to this microphone and the other going to the speaker. So the conversion should be pretty simple to accomplish. So without further ado, let's get to business. Here we have a roll of wire. Inside, there's a large sum of wire. So we just get a bunch of wire for it. As you can see, this is 3 conductor. You have a shield, which is the exposed wire, and then you have a red wire and a black wire. I'm going to be using the shield as the ground, and the red wire is going to be used for the microphone signal from the handset, and the black wire for the speaker. And I'm going to get out a nice long length of cord so we can have plenty of length to communicate with. And once we have the wire brought over, we'll need to strip it. So this could probably be a little bit of a challenge. Let's strip it. There it goes. This is a special kind of stripper. As you can see, probably most of you have not seen such a wire stripper. It makes it easier to strip cord like this. You can see how the mechanism works, maybe. I don't think you really can see how it works. But I got it at the dollar store. It only cost $1. Not to be confused with Dollar Tree. Was not Dollar Tree. It was another place called the Dollar Store. I bought this back in probably 2004, maybe 2005. I'm pretty sure it's still available. But you want to take a decent amount of that off to have enough wire. Now this is just the do not worry about that foil. Your wires, you got, at least on this cable, you just got exposed end, which is your ground. Then you got this black wire and this red wire. Now, of course, depending on what cable you use, it could be a little different. This, as long as you got 3 conductor wire, and it does not have to be shielded either. This device does not have an amplifier to amplify a small electrical signal, which, so it does not have the, it does not have the capability of like picking up like 60 hertz hums. You won't be hearing hums and stuff like that. Now we have to take a good bit of this insulation off to make enough length for one connection to go to the mic and the other to the speaker. The coil, the foil, you can, if it won't, you can always clip that off with some scissors. I apologize for the video artifacts in this video, all the weird pixelation parts and mess ups in the video. This computer is just a pile of crap. One guy suggested I defrag it. I don't even remember how to defrag the computer, because to be honest, I'm not a computer whiz. My brother's the computer whiz in the family. I'll have to have my brother do it sometime. One thing you want to remember is to actually fish the wire through the telephone. And a good approach now that I didn't do last time would be to tie a knot in the wire so the if you have it tug on it, it doesn't pull the wires out of the earphone and whatnot. So you're going to tie a knot. Should have enough room to comfortably get to the speaker, but not too much wire in the phone, because we want to have the wire nice and long. And I made this wire pretty long. I didn't measure it, but it went from my room down the hallway to the kitchen. So it seems like it's a pretty good length. Let's see if this knot's even in the right place. If that will barely reach the speaker, just barely. If I tug on it, I don't know. It's pretty close. I might have to make this knot a little higher up. Not higher up, lower. I really hope I don't break any of the connection of the wires inside this knot from all that tying. That's enough. I don't know how well you can see it, and with all the video artifacts don't help. But remembering to adhere to the schematic, which is incredibly simple. The brightness keeps getting lower when I put the schematic on the screen. It's really annoying. I have to go into Movie Maker and actually increase the brightness via Movie Maker. Because even if the brightness is good for the camera, it's made lower on the computer. Although unfortunately my little JVC DV camera, finally the monitoring screen quit lighting up, so I can't even monitor from the screen on it anymore. I have to monitor the video from the computer only, or for the video output only. So let's go ahead and strip these two parts. This wire stripper I think is really cool. It really makes it easier to strip wires. And the wire feels pretty tough. It seems like it's strong wire. Actually, I'm having a hard time pulling the insulation off this. There we go. This is a tough wire. It's stranded, but it's tough. Tough stranded. Except for the other ground part's very not tough. Okay. Now, we just need to have the ground connection, and the red wire is going to go to the microphone. So, we have the microphone piece. So we're going to loop. Actually, we don't have to have that part to be that long. Or actually, we could wrap it around to make it more secure. And screw it. The excess wire can be clipped off, and then get the red wire, loop it, around, and screw it in place. On the ground connection, actually, one thing I forgot to put was another wire. We need to put a second wire. So, strip another wire. Loosen the connection. Now that you have the ground connection to the mic, and the ground connection can go up to the speaker, as well as the other black wire, then we'll stick the other two wires up through the telephone tube. Get this one up there. Be a little more of a challenge. Well, not much of a challenge, it's just gotta fiddle around with it, that's all. One thing I didn't think about is that once this wire is up inside, the wire going down to the microphone isn't quite long enough. So if that happens, just remove some of the insulation off carefully without, when you cut the insulation, be careful not to cut the wires, and peel the insulation back. Cut more insulation if you need it. Be careful not to cut your fingers. I recommend using a wire cutter like this to do that job. She peeled off some more of the insulation. Clip off the excess. Remove the foil and clip off the excess, and fish the other wire up through the tube. When putting the microphone unit or microphone holder into the device, make sure the exposed ground wire does not touch the exposed screw of the microphone, or else you'll short it out. The other exposed screw, the one that goes to the red wire. And then that little phone jack thing in the middle, try to get the wire in there. Now, with the knot, you can pull it taut, but it will not pull the wires out of the connections. Go ahead and screw on the microphone cap after putting the microphone in place. Then, for the speaker, so this wire isn't too long, it can always be cut shorter and stripped. And then connected. Of course, you loop the wires. Oh, you need to make the screws come out more. Screw down firm. And connect the other wire. one small piece of advice is when you loop the wire to put onto the connection, where the loop comes out of the wire, where the wire comes out of the wire and then it loops around, have the wire loop around in the clockwise direction, since you're going to be turning the screw to tighten it in the clockwise direction. Then the screw won't tend to spill out the wire as you turn it. And of course you can use the tip of the flathead screwdriver to tuck more of the wire under the screw to ensure a more secure contact. Now that the speaker is connected, don't forget to reinsert the cotton ball into, I'm going to get a larger one, the cotton ball back into the place. And then put your speaker and screw back in place. Now for the other phone. Again, we'll unscrew the two places. Of course, this one, the battery and the switch is included. You have a more crowded area inside, the battery connection and the speaker. You can see where the negative of the battery is connected to the speaker and also goes to a blue wire. The blue wire extends out and did connect to the microphone and the other handset. That part will be the ground connection where the 2 points interconnect. So when we put our new wire in, we will have the ground connection, the part that wasn't insulated, go to this speaker. Let me make sure I'm right. This, let's see. No, maybe it won't. Wait, I'm a little confused. Actually, I might have just hooked this up a little differently than the schematic. I might have, but let me think. The minus of the battery. Okay, after going through a lot of thought, I finally figured out how I'm going to have to do this. The original wiring in this telephone will have to be, in this telephone handset that I had originally done, will have to be tweaked a little bit to make it fit the 3-conductor system. This little schematic here, if you can even see it clearly enough, was where I was figuring it out. Let me zoom out some. You can see here, this is the negative of the battery hooks up here to the speaker. I'm going to have to disconnect the wire from this microphone part and hook it up here. I don't have to describe everything I'm doing. I'm just going to, well, let's see. Let's just see. This microphone part will be disconnected. That blue wire is very short. Okay. Well, I have gotten the connections done. Simply a little bit of very basic rewiring had to be done. You just think how the electricity, the path the electricity flows, and you can figure it out. And now I have successfully converted the telephone communication device into using only 3-conductor cable, and luckily also this time the cable is covered by one piece of insulation, so You don't have all those strands of wire everywhere, and it's stranded wire, so it's a little more flexible. And also, we can listen to the sound. Of course, now when you hear the sound, it's going to be interesting because it's going to be through the carbon microphone in the phone, and the speaker will be put up to the carbon microphone being used to pick up sound in this video, so it's going to be carbon microphone times 2. We'll put the speaker up to the carbon microphone for the video and speak to the telephone.
And now I'm speaking through the telephone. You're hearing the carbon microphone processed twice. Once through the telephone, carbon microphone, and then again to the carbon microphone to the camera. So you're hearing double carbon microphone sound.
And of course, the other one works as well.
Of course, you can hear the other one works as well.
The sound quality is exactly the same as it was in the 4-wire version. The circuitry is essentially the same. You just got the 2 series sets of the parallel. Let me draw it for you. The 2 series sets of... Here is the most straightforward version of the schematic. And although each handset is a speaker and then the microphone, it's like crisscross. Another handset is that speaker and that microphone and that speaker. You can see the circuit itself is very simple. You simply have a series set of a speaker and a microphone put in parallel with your series set of your switch and 1.5 volt battery. So I hope you enjoyed this video, long video, of converting the telephone communication device for 3-conductor cable, and a little bit of taking it back apart and screwing the wires on and so forth, and of course all the audio in the video being picked up by a carbon microphone. I am now going to switch the power supply to the carbon microphone off.